Like, forget about all this stuff.
All right, so now we're going to start on unit 2.5. Okay, 2.5. And what we're working on for 2.5 is we're going to solve multi-step problems. Solve multi-step, equations. Solve multi-step equations. So we've been doing this already. We're just going to do more today, basically. Okay, so solving multi-step equations. So that just means more than 2 steps. Okay, you guys will be fine though. So the first thing you need to know is that your instructions are going to ask you to solve. So for all of the problems, your instructions will be to solve. For example number 1, sorry, that's a little out of focus. Let's fix that for you. For example number 1, I would like you to solve -3 parentheses 4p minus 6, close your parentheses, equals 54. -3 times 4p minus 6 equals 54. So, anyone think they know where would you start?
In the parentheses?
Okay, you would start by doing anything that you could in the parentheses. Is there anything to do in the parentheses right now? No, so then what?
You can start...
What's it called? Distribute, right. So distribute means to multiply. Remember, you only multiply by what's in the parentheses. So -3 times 4p would give you -12p. -3 times -6 gives you what? Positive 18 equals 54. So -12p plus 18 equals 54. Yes.
If it's like a negative, would it be like -12p minus 18?
How pretty.
Yeah, if you were, yes. So this one, negative times negative gave you that positive. Then, where would I go from here? You would move the 18. So let's move the 18. So subtract 18 from both sides. You can borrow and carry if you need to. So -12p, these cancel each other out, equals 54 minus 18. Borrow and carry if you need to. And hopefully we got 36, right? Did I do that right? It's not the hard stuff that we usually make mistakes on. It's the stuff that should be really easy. Yes.
We subtract the 54 and the 18 to get 36?
We did. 54 minus 18 equals 36. Yes.
And we just keep the 12p.
For now. Then, how do I get this one by itself?
Divide it.
Divide it, right. Remember, this negative is attached, but it's attached by multiplication. So we're going to divide both sides by -12. Right? And that's okay if you have to divide by negative. These will go away. We got p equals, what's 36 divided by 12? 3. And since there's one negative, it stays with the problem. So p equals -3.
I get it now.
Questions on how I did that? So not too bad? Okay, let's try another one. Say it again.
How did you get the 3 again?
36 divided by 12 is 3. Okay, let's try another one. For number 2, I would like you to try 3 times 4x plus 8 equals 2 times 6x plus 12. 3 times 4x plus 8 equals 2 times 6x plus 12.
What?
3 times 4x plus 8 equals 2 times 6x plus 12. What do you think is my first step, Ariana? Distribute, right. So we're going to distribute the 3 to the 4x and the 8. What do I do with this 2? It distributes to the 6x and the 12. So we're going to distribute on both sides, and that's fine. Okay, so if you distribute on both sides, 3 times 4x gives you what? 12x plus, what's 3 times 8? 24 equals What's 2 times 6x? 12x plus 24. What do you think you do from there? We want to solve. So how would you start solving that? Minus the 12x.
Wait, you multiplied. Wait, the 3. Okay, I get it. Never mind.
So if you minus the 12x, what happens here? What's 12x minus 12x?
0.
They went away. So I just have 24. Equals, what's 12x minus 12x? They went away. Equals 24. Does this feel weird?
Yes.
What's wrong with this? When would 24 be 24?
When it's 24.
All the time, right? When would 12x plus 24 equal 12x plus 24? All the time. So what this actually means is you could plug in all real numbers. Okay? This one, basically what this is saying is you could plug in any number for x and you would get it to work out. This problem would work for any number. So the answer here is something called all real numbers. You can't write just all numbers because it doesn't work for it. When you get to Algebra 2 or a higher math class, there's something called imaginary numbers. We are not dealing with those yet. Just know that anytime you get an equation that equals itself, the answer is all real numbers. Okay, all real numbers. That's a special case. So what we're going to look at today are some special kind of equations. Next one I'd like you to try is for number 3. Example 3. I would like you to try 4 times 5x plus 3 minus 6x equals 7 times 2x plus 3. 4 times 5x plus 3 minus 6x equals 7 times 2x plus 3. First step would be what? Distribute the 4. Now, does the 4 go to the 6x? No, it only goes to what's in the parentheses. Then on the right side of the equation, distribute the 7. So when you distribute, 4 times 5x gives you what? 20x plus 4 times 3 is 12. You still have the minus 6x equals 7 times 2x, 14x plus 21. Then what would you do? There's kind of an extra step in this one.
You
Combine the like terms on each side. So here, before we move things around, you actually need to combine the x's on the left side. Do I also combine these x's with the 14? No, because they're on separate sides. So if it's helpful to you, you might want to put like a fence there. Okay, you can't combine things. 20x minus 6x gives you what? 14x plus 12 equals 14x plus 21. Do we notice anything weird about this one? You have the same x value. So what would happen if you combined them? How would you combine them? What would you have to do? If I wanted to move them to one side, you would subtract the 14x. And what ends up happening here is you get, these go away, you get 12 equals 21. Is that ever possible for 12 to equal 21? No. So if you get something like this, where you get the numbers are exactly the same, your answer is all real numbers. If you get something like this one, where the answers are totally different and it's completely not possible, this is something that we write no solution on. There is no solution. There is no value of x that you could plug in this original equation to get an answer. It just doesn't work. It's like an impossible problem. So a lot of what you're doing today is going to be focusing on these kind of special problems. Okay, so you have to realize these are like exceptions. Okay, they're kind of special problems. We're not done. We still have one more. Okay, last one for today is a word problem. So you're going to write it down. Okay, for example 4. If I tell you that Tony and his friends went to the movies. Tony and his friends went to the movies. Okay, so if they go to the movies, they bought 4 drinks and 2 tubs of popcorn. Okay, they bought 4 drinks and 2 tubs of popcorn and spent $32.50 on food. Remember, if you're writing $32.50, the dollar sign goes in front, not at the end. That only works for Spanish. $32.50 on food. Each drink cost $3.50 less than a popcorn. So each drink costs $3.50 less than a tub of popcorn. I would like you to write an equation and solve. Write an equation and solve to find the cost of 1 tub of popcorn. So to find cost of 1 tub of popcorn. Write an equation and find the cost of 1 tub of popcorn.
See, look, my paper is all pretty.
Yes. So, how would I start to write this equation? Does anyone have any ideas? Yep.
Would you put 32.50 as your total?
$32.50 is definitely your total. So what we're going to start with is we know that they bought 4 drinks and 2 tubs of popcorn and spent $32.50. So if 4 drinks plus 2 popcorns was equal to $32.50. This is kind of a problem because I have 2 different letters. Okay, so if we write this, 4 drinks and 2 popcorns was equal to $32.50. Each drink, so a drink cost or was equal to, how do you write $3.50 less than a popcorn? Less than means what? Does it go first or last? Last. So $3.50 less than a popcorn. So it would be popcorn minus $3.50. Then what you basically have to do is we're going to substitute. Instead of writing D's, let's write P minus $3.50. Okay? So here, this is really 4 times a popcorn minus $3.50 plus 2 popcorns equals $32.50. Then you can solve. So we want to write these in what's called one variable. You don't want to use 2 different letters. So how would I solve this equation? What would you have to do? Start by distributing. So let's distribute the 4. So 4 times P gives you 4P. What's 4 times $3.50? Minus $14. You can do that on the side of your paper if you need to. Plus 2 P's equals $32.50. You guys should be writing this down. Then what do I do? combine my like terms. So put together the p's. So what's 2p and 4p? 6p. So 4p plus 2p gives you 6 popcorns minus $14 equals $32.50. What would you do next? Add the 14. So add 14 to both sides. Sorry, I'm running out of room. Okay, if you add 14 to both sides, I'm going to move it kind of over here. That would give you 6p equals, what's 32.50 plus 14? 46.50. And then finally, how do you solve? What would you have to do? Divide by 6. So you have to do this part. What is 6 into 46.50? And I want you to work that out. So 6 into 46.50. Work that out on your paper if you need to. Figure out how many times is 6 going to 46.50. Do 6 into 46.50. Did we get any answers? What did we get? 775. Now, make sure you have the decimal point in the right place. Okay, if you forget the decimal place, it's going to look like a popcorn was $775. That doesn't make any sense. So yes, your answer here should be $7.75. We found the cost of one popcorn. On one of the portions of your test, you are going to have to write an equation and then solve it. Okay, so that's coming up next week. Make sure that you write down your homework, please. Your homework is on page 157, page 157. You are doing numbers 1 through 8 and 15 to 22. It's on the board just in case you didn't hear me. Page 157, numbers 1 through 8 and 15 through 22.
I wrote it down.
Good.